Guess who recorded 8 hours of Half-Life 2 footage? That's right, it was me. This video took so long to complete, man. Partly due to time restraints and other business, but probably also a contributing factor is that people say Half-Life 2 is a power trip. Well, to me it wasn't. I was f***ing my pants all the way through the game. Oh shit. However, despite that fact, I think this definitely deserves its place as one of the greatest games of all time. Oh shit! It's not repetitive, it always keeps you on high alert, and when those epic moments hit, man, you feel like nothing can stop you. As well as the general atmosphere of the game, and need not mention how well the Source engine has aged. Now there is just one problem. I'm not exactly the first person to cover Half-Life 2. In fact, I think there may be a small percentage of people who've done it before, and it actually sold better than some expected. It's a moderate 10 million on PC in 2017, and this is not even mentioning the demo version. Oh boy, does that have a community. Anyway, here's another glorified montage. Oh. No! What a nice man. Bastard. Oh, for God's sake, you're just mad. No! My guns! Not my crowbar, come on, that's my signature thing. That's my black Mesa Limited crowbar! That's my black— no! Yes. I know. So, what makes this game so special? Well, let's start with the basics. Valve got the atmosphere of the game perfect. It feels like your actions have consequences, and the general vibe is also terrifically executed. Everything seems a bit off and unsettling. Perfect for a literal alien invasion setting. As well as this, it's pretty much become a template for modern video games. Keep it diverse and don't make it repetitive. Environment-wise, it's incredible. Much of it can be manipulated, it's open world, there's always an alternative way to do things, and the enemies are still terrifying and challenging. But this time they don't make me want to punch my monitor anytime they kill me. Well, almost. The controls are also much better than the first game. They're not as instant response as the rapid-paced, which means you've got more time to consider what you're doing and plan your strategies. There's also more creative ways these are used, which I'll talk about in a minute. The graphics are a huge improvement, and still aren't that bad by today's standards. Don't get me wrong, they're not Cyberpunk Crash your PS4, but honestly I didn't have one lag spike apart from the loading screen on high graphics. Speaking of the first game, the story is much more fleshed out this time, with actual characters that aren't the player. And I actually really love the way human NPCs have been done. They don't just feel like robots, they feel like your allies who are backing you every step of the way. Sometimes I would even load a save just so my teammate wouldn't die, and hearing them encourage you boosts the mood. Sometimes a little bit of mood lighten is needed.
Dear God! Poor Laszlo! The finest mind of his generation!
A much needed addition, since Half-Life 2 was in development for 5 years or so, in which time it went from a dark, gritty 1984 Blade Runner-esque sci-fi future beta version to a more grounded approach. Don't get me wrong, beta was cool, but I think the release was also pretty fine. And the setting choice was interesting too, since not many games take place in Eastern Europe, which as a resident I was pretty happy to see. The level design is brilliant, everything is different. I know many people have said this before, but it really is astonishing how you get all of this in one game. No DLCs, no pay to win, no level up or upgrade system, just you, your brain, a weapon in the world. You can pay for it and you get a full game with no questions asked. But then modern EA and Ubisoft came along and it doesn't look great on video, but once you play along with this game, the horror aspect of it really is amplified to 11. All this lore helps give the game a big boost up from the original, and I still dive into it just because it interests me that much. Seriously, there have been hundreds of articles just about who the G-Man is. That's a character who appears for all of about 5 minutes in the entire game.
The right man in the wrong place can make all the difference in the world.
And of course the soundtrack is getting through. Kelly Bailey really nailed it out the park. Despite all this, it's still pretty appealing to the normal clueless gamer. Well, normal gamer who's an 8-year-old who thinks he knows jack about games because he found out that Epic Games made PUBG and Fortnite. But probably the best thing about Half-Life 2 is everything it spawned and created. Not in a literal way, but I mean Half-Life 2 Deathmatch, Counter-Strike Source, Gary's Mod, The Stanley Parable, Black Mesa, Alien Swarm, Cry of Fear, Aperture Tag, Portal 1 and 2, No More Room in Hell, The Ship, Source Filmmaker, Half-Life Source Team, Fortress 2, Left 4 Dead 1 and 2, Dave Defeat Source, and the disappointing liquid blue rotten cheese trash that has hunt down the Freeman, and many, many more. This one single game has created a community so large, a big portion of them aren't even aware they're in it. The Source engine itself has given me some of my greatest gaming memories of all time. Hell, it doesn't just stop at games. People do videos, mods. Some people made a living off this one single concept from 2004. So while Half-Life 2 may not seem like a big deal or that important, it really kick-started a revolution of sorts. Well, in the video game world at least. So thank you, Half-Life 2. Oh wait, the episodes exist.